Hi everybody, so today I'm going to be winterizing our hot tub. Now typically we run the hot tub May long till September long weekend, and seems to be a good time frame for us because we don't run it in the winter and you got one extra day to deal with things. So all you really need is a few simple things: a garden hose, possibly a pair of pliers if the plug is a little bit sticky, a funnel, some winter antifreeze, and a wet dry shop vac. With the shop vac, you got to make sure you take out the dry filter, otherwise that'll get wet and ruined. And that's about it. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start the process here. Okay, so what I did here, our yard's sloped this way. It's a lot steeper than it looks, but we've got so much hose, I basically just strung it around and got it laid out in the swale in the back. Now this hot tub water, you can just dump it on your grass depending on what your situation is, but basically it won't kill your grass, but I just don't want the backyard flooded, so I'm just putting it in the storm gutter. And now we'll go and open up the plug, and all this water basically is gonna just have a one-way path out there. If you have an old hose, that works better because then you can just screw it in there, cut it to the exact length that you need to get to wherever your drain point is, but I don't have an old one at this point, so I'm just coiling the existing one. Okay, so here's the part where a lot of people don't really understand how these work. When it's pushed all the way in, it's stopped. When it's pushed all the way out, it's stopped. And to get the water flowing out, now that we've got the hose in place, we just need to push it part way back. You can see it's don't have a real tight seal on here, but it's starting to drain, and let's just go check it in the storm drain here. Okay, we got pretty good water flow going. See, it takes a while to drain out, half-inch hose, but go and we can do a few other things right now, like take the filter out. Okay, just a couple things with these filters. This looks kind of dirty here, but the guy at the hot tub store said these are good for a couple seasons. So he said just wash them out really good. So what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to take the garden hose with the pressure nozzle on it and wash this out really good. I used to change the filter out every year, but his advice to just wash it out actually makes a lot of sense, because after I did that, it was pretty clean actually, and a lot of the gunk will just come out. If you have a super high use, super dirty hot tub, you might want to change it every year, but save you a few bucks anyways if you can reuse it for at least one extra season. As you can see, the water's pretty murky. We haven't used this for quite a while, and I haven't put the chemicals in for a couple weeks here, and you can see it turns pretty cloudy pretty quick if you don't do the maintenance on these things. So, and this has been draining for about 10 minutes. You can see it, these things just drain slow. So I'll go clean this hot tub filter out for now, and we'll come back a little later once this is drained down. Okay, so I just sprayed this off. It looks pretty good. It came quite clean. Let's see if we can get it in the sunlight here. And you know, it's not as good as a brand new one, obviously, but it did come pretty clean. And I think we might try to use it next year. If you find that your water is not getting filtered properly, just replace it. But you know, if you do a good job cleaning these out, I think they definitely are fine for 2 years. Okay, so this thing's pretty much done self-draining. A few bits here from the fireplace that blew in with the lid off. The next thing we'll do is we'll just get all this water off the seats down to the drain, and we'll go to the next step from there. Basically, we're going to try to get all this water out as we possibly can before we start with the wet vac. Okay, so while we're waiting for the last of that to drain out now, we can start going and taking out these jets and these nozzles. We'll take out quite a few of them, and then what we'll do after that is we'll start using the shop vac just to suck any water we can out of there. And the more you can do, the better. And I do find it is better to take off the nozzles before doing this, but if you can't, for some reason, get all these little jets unscrewed, that's fine. You can still suck over top of the jets. It just works better if you're able to take them out. Okay, I just got all the jets out that I'm going to take out. As you can see, I'm making sure I do the low and the high ones specifically. The larger jets, these smaller ones, they're really hard to take out, but you really don't need to. And then this captain's chair's got a lot of big jets, and this guy here, which is directly below me, I've taken those out. And then the ones we started with in the corner. So of all the jets, the one that are just down here right in front of me is the most important. This sits right above the pump, and the more fluid I can get out of there and the more antifreeze I can put back into here, the less chance we're going to have of a pump failure, because we never got all the water out. So that's really important. But on your hot tub, you're going to want to figure out where exactly does the motor and pump sit below, and make sure you get that area extra good, because you don't want to do damage to that. If you freeze a line and it breaks, it's one thing. Freeze the pump, gets fairly expensive. So This is really disgusting. A bunch of stuff blew in here because I had the lid off, but there's also lots of hair from the girls. So next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take the garden hose. I'm going to rinse, basically just rinse off the tub, get any residue off of it, and then get it all kind of sprayed in the bottom. And then we'll take the shop vac and suck all that kind of grit and dirt out. And then after that, we will start cleaning the jets out. Okay, so now we kind of got this cleaned up a bit. Got a little bit of residual water left now in the bottom, but that's exactly what we want because we need a little bit of water to be able to suck up any of this little grit or mess that's left, so we'll go do that now. Alright, so I just sucked most of the water out of this. This is right above the pump, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse the hose on the wet vac, so now that'll actually be blowing air, and we'll blow air in the top, and you'll see water come out of the bottom here. Okay, so I just finished blowing air into each of these holes. Now, intrinsically, you'd think if you blew in the top, everything should come out the bottom. But I'm not quite sure how the plumbing in this works, but I find if I blow in all the holes, water comes out, then I just repeat it over and over again. But before I started, this seat was completely dry. There's a significant amount of water in there, so basically what I'm going to do is keep blowing out the jets, and I'll just swap it to the suction side and then swap it to the blow side and keep going around all the way around the tub until I'm satisfied that it's as dry as I can possibly get the plumbing. And after that, we'll introduce the antifreeze. now I've blown out and sucked out all the jets and the piping that as best I could. And I just wanted to show you how much water was actually in here. This is a fairly good sized shop vac, and it's about a third full. And before I started sucking out the vent or the jets and the nozzles, I actually had emptied this because I had sucked the water out of the bottom previously, like you guys saw. So this was completely dry empty before I started to suck out the jets, and this just shows you how much water is actually in there. So fairly confident I got the majority of the water out at this point. So next step is we can go ahead and start putting the antifreeze in. Okay, I just wanted to give you guys a little tip. If you can see in there at the back, you can see where the hole goes down. When you put the funnel in, instead of putting it right to the back, leave the tip of the funnel out a little bit, so when you pour the liquid in, it can go right down that hole there that the pipe goes into, and you'll get a lot more of your antifreeze in the actual piping. Alright, so I ran out of antifreeze. I only had one 10-liter jug. And if you see, this is all the overflow or the spill. So that looks like quite a bit. But considering I had 10 liters in there, I bet this isn't even 2 liters. This is probably maybe a liter, if that didn't make it in the holes. But that's okay. I still need to put probably another full jug in. I haven't done this guy at all. I haven't put any in there. Okay, so this is where the filter goes. So we'll dump probably 5 liters plus in there, or half a gallon. And what that'll do is that liquid should start push its way up through this spout here, and that's when you know it's completely full. And that's almost it. Then we'll do that one. And I'll probably try to put a little more in this guy here. This one's, for some reason, is always hard to get fluid in, but this is right above the motor and the pump. This unit here took a lot, same with this corner tub, so I'm happy with that. But I'll get another jug. We'll put some in the holes we hadn't filled up previously, and then top off the rest again. Okay, dropped another 10 liters in here. Finished topping these guys up. I see quite a bit of juice down there. It's not very deep though. Most of that was overflow. I filled the center piece up there with antifreeze, and then when I poured the antifreeze down here, it basically filled up and came out this section there, and that's where most of the stuff in the bottom. Looks like quite a bit. I bet you there's maybe maximum 3 liters total, so I put 20 liters into the system. Maybe 3 liters has leaked out or never made it in, and I made sure these big jets got plenty. Like I said, the pump sits right above there. There's quite a bit in there, and I got quite a bit of fluid over there. And next step will be to put these jets back in, and also, as just in case I forgot to mention, I put the plug back in and closed it. That bottom system is full of antifreeze now as well. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys real quick before I close the lid. Basically, I've got all the jets screwed back in. We're not going to worry about this. The first question you guys are going to ask is that going to stain your hot tub? The answer is yes and no. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video in the spring showing how to clean all this mess up. But basically, if you just take your garden hose and rinse this off, it may be a little pink, but I'm going to show you the way I do it, where you won't have any staining from this plumbing antifreeze at all. So you don't need to worry about cleaning this up now. I actually don't mind leaving this in there. It doesn't hurt anything. Also going to mention, I put that case back on, but the filter is not in the hot tub for obvious reasons. And the filter I rinsed off really good, as you saw in the earlier part of the video, and I just put that in the garage to completely dry out and store for the winter. The other thing I'm going to do too is I'll just put the chlorine and the cleaner sponge, just leave it on top of there. It can sit out here all winter, it doesn't hurt. I'll just keep it out of the antifreeze. So that's kind of what your outfit's going to look like, and now we just got to put the top back on. Alright guys, that's just about it for this video. Our hot tub's winterized. Just a few tips I just wanted to remind you of. When you're filling up the jets, make sure your funnel is kind of over the holes where the plumbing goes into, so when you're pouring in the liquid, it goes directly into the tubes. It minimizes spill out. Also, I was using a pretty big jug. I would recommend using a smaller container, maybe a 1 liter kind of size. It's just much easier to manage and handle. The second thing is, however much volume of water you are able to suck out using the shop vac, I would try to get somewhere similar to that amount of liquid back into the plumbing system. Then you know all the liquid is offset with actual pure antifreeze. If you think you may be light on some of the jets, just go back and try to get a little more in there. It doesn't have to be 100% pure antifreeze. If it mixes in with some residual water, it might gel, it might slush up, but it won't freeze solid, which is enough to save your plumbing. So that's about it for the tips, guys. Also, I was going to mention, I did talk to the guys at the hot tub store before I did this. Basically, the process I did to suck and blow the water out is what they do as well. I do believe they have a different system or something that directly connects over the nozzles so they don't waste antifreeze like I did. But if you're just doing it yourself, you know, just take your time, be slow. Like I said, I put 20 liters in. There's probably 2 to 3 liters maybe that were left laying out on the seat or in the bottom. So most of it got into the actual system itself. And this is 8th or 9th winter now that I have done this, and I've never yet had a problem, so I'm quite confident with this method. And I hope it helped you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Also, I'm going to make another video for the spring for starting your hot tub up after winterization, which I'll go into showing how I get all of this plumbing antifreeze flushed out of the jets and the system, because I know none of you will be wanting to be sitting in a hot tub full of antifreeze. So anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one.